Hello, I'm going to introduce today some new BrakeAce feature. There are some special features that currently are just available to racers or VIP customers. And so it's called the Compare Runs. So when you go to your ride list, you can select different run, and then this compare button will show up. You can click on it, and now you can compare different runs. So you have a summary of all the different metrics for these two runs, so you can look at it and see what are the main difference. It's also using AI to kind of translate like all these numbers into plain English. It will give you insight of like what's relevant between these two runs, so you don't have to squint at all the numbers. You can just look at what the calf write-off is. The next one, it's the side-by-side. So if you click on this tab, I think you have to go back and forth twice, the little bug with the map. And so it will show side-by-side the two runs, and you have the opportunity to add a video. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to find one. So, for example, I can drop one video right here, and I can drop another video right there. So these two videos are in sync. I can increase a little bit like that. I can show either GPS map if I want to. And so, so assuming they are on sync, they're actually not too bad. And actually you can see that the video 2 is a bit ahead of time. And so I can move this timeline here to adjust them a little bit. So I can play with that. You see it's still quite a bit ahead of time. Kind of like that maybe. There we go. And also within each of this run, maybe the video file and the data are not on sync. In this case they are, because they have been recorded with the app, and the app start the video, GoPro and the recording at the same time. But if you just record the video manually, just clicking on your GoPro button, maybe it's not in sync, so you can adjust the video like this. So typically, for example, you click when you press on the start button, and so you can see, you can align exactly where it is, so it's on sync. You can use this button for like more fine-tuning. So this is going to adjust by 1/10 of a second, or by 1 second, if you want to kind of to nudge it to be really precise right here. When you look at the video, you can also click on this button to just move like frame by frame. And then you can also use these two buttons, this star and this little flag, to, for example, calculate like a difference, like a time difference. So let's say, for example, I want to measure from like this pole to maybe this one right here. Okay, just a couple frames, and so now I know it was 4 seconds, and I can do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to look on the right side. I'm not really sure exactly which one it was, but let's pretend it's this one. And I can go to like this one, maybe a couple more frame like this, for example. And so it was 3.9 seconds here, it was 4.2 right there. So it's kind of an easy way to quickly compare section, different lines, and things like that. You can also increase the size of the video if you want to look better, and so on. These sections are being highlighted like in green right here. So for example, I can also compare like both section right here. So for example, you can see my entrance here was like 22.4, the exit was 19. In this case here, exit was like 26.5, and here it was 28.4. So kind of give you an idea. Again, you look at different breaking events. So for example, here you see the little break check right there, and there's like this breaking events, which is kind of similar here. So here was just like the rear on the front, and like this bigger event after. So kind of a bit different run here. It's a bit later. So it's kind of an easy way to compare runs, breaking patterns, or just like different lines and things like that. The next feature is called the event analysis. And it's going to define like matching breaking events, or like a matching group of breaking events. So it's doing by just comparing the GPS position, so you can play with that. It's going to find something. If it's not enough for you, and I forgot, you can also do it manually. So here you can see the different zone. And if you do it manually, you're going to click right there, and you're going to click, let's say I want a zone from here to there. I can give it a name. And I can keep going from here to here, and so on and so on. There's also like already created some sections. So for this track, for example, this one was like the Leo Gang World Cup 2026. So I'm going to apply this. It's going to be the zone I recreated. So it's like the first turn, some off camber, some bike park section, and so on. I can see, for example, for the first turns, I'm going to be able to look at the detail. You can see this line is thicker when there's like more breaking event, and smaller when there's less. So you can see, the breaking pattern, I guess. You can see like it's kind of, more linear here. It's ramping up a bit more right here. It also obviously depends a bit on your GPS precision. It's not always perfect, for example, on the phone. But kind of give you an idea of like what's going on this different section. You can see the speed when you enter, when you exit. So here was 19.2, the exit was 16.4, and so on. So it gives you this information, and which zone was the fastest between these two runs. In this example, I'm showing you with like 2 runs, but you can do it with like 4 or 5. It just kind of make your interface a bit buzzier. Maybe you need a bigger screen, or you need more scrolling right and left, and able to compare that. We can do that with any as many runs as you want, I believe. At least 4 or 5. We have a race inside, kind of similar to the summary, but it's more focused about the speed specifically. So we can help you to see, between 2 runs, which was the fastest, which section was the best, and so on. So you can see on the map, for example, one section of the section, the kind of pretty similar like this. And the last one, which is also a bit experimental, is a run optimizer. And so it's going to take your run and get exactly the same speed, but it's going to optimize your braking events. So if your braking was to be optimal or perfect, it's obviously a bit theoretical because it could depend on the traction, the terrain, all kind of different factors. But if you were able to, and sometimes you are, for example, on this, you would be able to be 4.8 seconds. So using the same power from the brakes, you don't need to be stronger, you don't need to go faster, it's just within the same thing. You can also play with, like, if you were able to apply more power, so if you have 120% more braking, then you would be able to save 6 seconds. If you're able to merge braking events, you have to have like a less braking event, you can go up to 30 seconds. There's obviously some big gains somewhere on some of these events. And also the attacks, like how fast can you able to modulate to get to like full power braking or not. And, for example, typically, try to find an example, go back to kind of the default settings. Instead of having like this really long braking event, I could get the same impact by just having this perfectly curve where you just apply the brakes and release the brakes much faster. So it means like all this time when you just I guess dragging your brakes are kind of speeds are kind of lost, time that's being lost, and so it's kind of you can see that you like this long braking events, you can merge them into that. So that's kind of the theory, but kind of give you a kind of an idea of like how much can be made, and you can lower the expectation of like if you use less brake power, or if you use like different technique and so on, and you can play with that, give you an idea. Yeah, so that's kind of all the different features that are available in this Compare Runs page. Finally, I forgot to mention you have an export PDF, so it's going to generate like a PDF, as it said, with all this information, so it might be easier to share with your athlete, with your mechanic, with a coach, and so on. And so the PDF looks kind of like that, kind of similar to what we've seen to the different tabs. So it could be useful to consult on the go if you not able to interact with the app when you need this information. So that's all we have for like this app for now, for like this compare rides feature. We'll keep improving based on your feedback, trying to make it as useful as possible, as powerful as possible. And yeah, we're open to your feedback, obviously. And thank you.